On everybody, welcome to episode 304 of Flow Wrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined as always by Lehigh Valley's finest, Willie Saylor, repping the 610, where he now lives. Got the wrestling nomad Kyle Brackey to my left and right, respectively, on this day, a big Thursday, and it's been kind of a low output of news in the wrestling world the last couple of weeks, really. You know, we had Fargo, and now this week it's getting spicy. You got Schultz a couple days ago, and yesterday the atom bomb drops of Daniel Kirkfleet. Basic, I guess you could say, I don't know if the word decommit is the right word, but reopens his commitment or his recruiting process up. And man, the schools involved and just the caliber of his potential. Just a huge story in wrestling right now.
Well, you know, you follow – it doesn't often happen in wrestling, or not to the degree it does in football. But, look, when a guy decommits from a school or reopens his recruiting and then he puts the school he committed to on the list, they do that as like, Oklahoma State, you did me good. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm going to keep you. I'm going to still say I'm in consideration. But they never go to that school.
No.
Right.
No.
So while Kirkfleet says he's still considering Oklahoma State, and I'm sure that Oklahoma State is doing everything they can to say, hey, listen, we're the place for you. We can make you reach all your goals. It never turns out that way.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, in my opinion, he's going to Penn State, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it may be a done deal or close to it, as close as it gets. I would be stunned to see him go to any of those other schools mentioned. And Nomad, you talked to the family. I was surprised that you even got a list, so maybe it's a little more open than I realized. But to me, this is Penn State, and coming out. So I guess it was the same day as Schultz committed. We kind of got word that, hey, Kirk, he's not going to go to Oklahoma State. He's reopened this thing up, and it may be a done deal for Penn State. And then more word comes out. He's like, yeah. So they go. Everyone's at the OTC, right? Everyone's there, so everyone's talking, everyone's seeing what's going on, and everyone noticed Kirkfleet and Kale. They trained several days together, drilled together, and I think I think the writing was on the wall then, and I think it's smart for the Kirkfleets not to do any sort of announcement or any sort of thing up till signing day, done deal. The kids. He committed to Minnesota initially, and things changed. He got big and Gable, right? Obviously, you don't go to Minnesota. And then I don't know the steps that brought him to committing to Oklahoma State, but perhaps he didn't. It seemed pretty quick from the time and I don't remember the exact timeline, but from the time he decommitted from Minnesota, it wasn't too much longer. And
it was the same day.
Right. So
okay.
That was one of the things I wanted to get into, the difference between like reopening and decommitting, because to me, like definition wise, decommitting means basically that day or within a little bit you are then committing somewhere else, right? Brackey commits to West Virginia, decommits a month later, goes to Ohio, whatever, right? Reopening, we see, as Willie was saying, a lot more in football, where it's maybe your verbal becomes a soft verbal, and it's, hey, we're still going to take our officials, we're still going to take in home visits. We're still going to talk to coaches and weigh our options.
Yeah, but no, like there's definitely cases just because you're reopening does not mean you're not decommitting. Like Abe Assad's not going to Army, right?
No, I know, but
he could say Abe Assad can say so that's a decommitment. That's for sure a decommitment.
Yeah, and I mean, you can get caught up in the language of it. It doesn't
right.
doesn't make much difference to the reality. that Daniel's probably not going to Oklahoma State. Unfortunately for Oklahoma State, and it raises other questions, right? And we've talked about this multiple times on the show, but I think it bears discussion again. The notion of recruiting over guys that are committed. So, or not over guys. What I mean is, okay, Kirk Fleet is committed to Oklahoma State. I don't care. I'm going to continue to recruit him until he is signed, right?
Well, no, you're right. There's two angles there. Recruiting over somebody and recruiting committed guys.
Yeah. So step one, I think, is recruiting a committed guy. So there are factions in college wrestling, among college wrestling coaches, that feel it is not the right thing to do, that you should not recruit a kid that has committed. They believe that is the wrong thing to do, almost like it's a dishonest act. I know, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but Coleman Scott feels very strongly that's not something he's going to do. Coleman Scott believes he should not, that it would not be right for him or anyone in his program to recruit someone that has verbaled somewhere else. He just thinks that is no, you don't do that, right? Whereas, obviously, many other coaches in not just wrestling, but just in college athletics in general, they have no issue continuing to recruit. And I kind of see it a little differently from Coleman, in that I don't think you compromise your morals necessarily or your ethics by recruiting a kid that has committed somewhere. Though I can certainly see how, you're asking a kid to change a commitment he made, so almost you're contributing to that kid's, quote, dishonesty. But I just don't view it that way. I just don't view recruiting that way.
What if the kid made a commitment because it was the first school that showed him love, he liked his visit there, he was 15, and now this is a better option for him?
Exactly.
I don't have a problem with people recruiting kids that are committed. And I don't feel like they should feel like they have bad morals because they're doing it. It's part of the landscape of college athletics.
Here's another thing.
I honestly don't either. I mean, there's a date, a signing date, right? And that signing day is before their senior season starts. So let's just call it what it is. Everything up until that day is solid, not 100% accurate, right? So let's use that day as a cutoff day. Until then, if I'm any coach, I'm hustling. You know who doesn't want? I mean, if you're gonna win recruits, if you're gonna try to win, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do in any sports? You're trying to win. You play to win the game, right?
Thanks,
Hello.
So you try to recruit and you try to get the best athletes you can, and anything else is just whining.
Yeah, here's the other thing. I mean, there's so many instances where I think it makes sense. One, everyone looks at it from the kid's perspective. Think about what these schools can do. Okay, cool, you verbaled to me. That means nothing. You are guaranteed not a dime. You're not guaranteed a book. They can change that offer on you. Why should I say, okay, I'm going to Iowa. Iowa has books for me, or I could go to, Virginia Tech, Virginia Tech, and they have a full for me. I'm not a bad person because I verbaled to Iowa, and I'm not. Wait, hold on. You guys aren't offering me anything?
I was just
I'm going to go somewhere else.
Just backing in that, Christian. The way the rules are currently set up, we still don't know for another 5 days what these kids can. And I mean, we're not going to know, but August 1st is the first time they can talk the financial side of it, like legally and formally. Like, okay, here it is. Here's your 60. Here's your 50. Here's whatever, right? So until August 1st, and then Willie was saying the sign day, between August 1st and November 14th is when actual money can be talked about.
Yeah, and to me, the word business comes to mind, and maybe we don't want to think of college athletics as a business, but the NCAA certainly has made it so.
That's
right?
what it is.
It is, and there's nothing wrong with a coach leaving. Okay, I got a 5-year deal here at school X. School Y is going to pay me more, Chris Bono. And it's a more prestigious job. Chris Bono's not unethical because he left South Dakota State.
Right.
Okay? You're going to a better situation. If
it takes two to tango, right? There's options on the kids. There's options on the kids' table, and there's options on the coach's table, and nothing's done until you sign on the dotted line. Both sides have to play it smart. I mean, look, Luis Fernandez just decommitted from Cornell, decommitted from Virginia Tech and went to Cornell, right? I mean, is he an unethical kid? I mean, Virginia Tech could be complaining. I mean, it's not done. Just keep hustling.
To me, it was a point I made a couple years ago that I still believe there isn't much in it for the kid to verbal early.
Sure.
It's all. I mean, really, you give up some negotiating leverage when you verbal early because you've shown your hand in that way. So, I'm not saying that these kids should, or if it was my son in this situation, it's very hypothetical that he would be this good. But if he was, I don't see the value in deciding at 15, 16, 17 because you don't know how much you're going to change as a wrestler. What if your stock goes way up? What if, you're just kind of a middle-of-the-road guy and you win Super 32 and Ironman the next year? And then the caliber of schools and the caliber of financial offer is going to change. But I've already committed to go to school X as a sophomore because I went to camp there and liked their coaches. Well, you're young and naive, so you should be able to change your mind there. Just like coaches change their mind about kids. They change their mind about kids. They cool on kids all the time, change offers, stop recruiting them. So what's the difference?
That's absolutely right. I mean, you got a verbal from a kid that was 2-time Super 32 champ as a freshman, as a sophomore, and a junior, and then he starts falling off.
Yeah, what was the California kid?
He takes loss here, he takes loss there, he takes loss there. Okay, now it's August of his senior year. He was his phenom before. Now he's still good, but he's like, and he committed to you. But now you're ready to talk an offer, and now you say, yeah, I'll give you 25%.
Well,
you can do that. The coaches can do that.
There's a very real example of this. You think about Saavedra. Saavedra was going to be a 4-time California State champion. He was 2 for 2. He looked great. Everything changed with that kid as a prospect. And can you imagine? I'm sure schools were all over him after his sophomore year. He looked like the truth, right? And then, man, he basically did not get better. He kind of regressed, which happens, right? He's still an amazing wrestler, but
went up about 4 weight classes.
He got a lot bigger. Yeah. Just things didn't work out, and you can't sink a bunch of money into that because things change. So that's I think we're all kind of in agreement here. Although I'm open to having my mind changed, certainly, and. I'd love to have Coleman actually on the show to talk about it, maybe explain his perspective. It was just text, but because I'm not trying to say his perspective is not invalid.
Well,
I think it's very virtuous of Coleman.
I do too, and I feel his frustration in the sense that, dude, these coaches hustle, and they try to get commitments, and they get them. And then they think it should be laissez-faire, right? There's a gentleman's agreement, right? I got him. I worked hard. I got the kid to commit. He committed. Everybody else, hands off. And that's the way it should be. I just don't think that's the reality. I don't think that can possibly be the reality in the world that we live in. That's hyper competitive, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I just thought of something. Do any coaches use kids as moles? Meaning,
oh boy,
I love it. Just let them go.
Meaning, okay, you verbal to us, right? I verbal to the Fighting Brackies, all right?
Yes.
And I'm all in, right?
Like 25-pounder, got him locked up.
Like there's no way I'm changing, right? Mm-hmm. But
Let's
CP,
go.
CP's, he's still texting me. He's, hey, come over Buffalo Gap, right?
You
We're
son
gonna
of a
we're gonna
gun.
win some stuff Buffalo Gap. And I'm like, Coach, like I have no interest in CP, But Bracky goes, see what they're offering, see what their plan is, see what they're entertaining you, and then I feed information back to Bracky, which Bracky can then choose to use against CP.
Operation Fallen Bison.
Is there any like craziness like that happening?
I'm
Because
sure
that would be wild.
I'm sure that there is.
I think. I mean, it's probably Putin.
That's true. That's true. It's probably Putin.
This happens in football and basketball all the time, and no one bats an eye because recruiting in those sports has been a huge deal for years, and I think we are giving recruiting the attention it deserves because it shapes college teams for, the next 5 years and changes the college wrestling landscape, and so I think the wrestling world is getting maybe their first exposure to big time recruiting and the ebbs and flows of it, and I think it's just going to take maybe the wrestling world a little bit to get used to kids changing their mind and getting better offers.
So here's the other side of the coin that we alluded to briefly. I think we've made our points about recruiting kids that are committed. Now, the notion of recruiting over a kid. Now,
Yeah.
for Exhibit A, Nevels, right? Seth Nevels is coming in. He'll be a true freshman this year at Penn State. His brother's already on the team. And, if Kirkfleet goes there, there's going to be some conflict, right? And so where do you land on that? The notion of, hey, we've got this kid. It's clearly heavyweight. And it's not like – it's one thing when you recruit RBY and Gavin and Teskey and Buziello. It's like, there's 3 to 4 weights those guys could fall in between red shirts and different graduation years. You could sort of lay it out. But when it's 2 heavyweights, it's very clear. It's like there's going to be an overlap. There's not a 97 there, right? So in that way, it's pretty clear what will happen if Kirkfleet goes there. And so what do you feel, Willie, about, hey, I'm recruiting, I've got this guy, but I'm going to recruit over him?
100% okay with it.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I am okay with it in theory, but provided that the communication is clear in the recruiting of the initial. You can't say, you're my guy, I'm committed to you. It's like, we're going to make you a national champion, da-da-da-da-da. And then, and I'm not saying this is what happened with Nevels. I'm sure the communication was clear. And, if you go to Penn State, listen, if you go to Penn State and you think they're not going to recruit around you or in your weight range, you're high, right? Like, you have to know.
Well, you're right. But there's also, there's also a thing about not just recruiting over you, but just kids wanting to come, and that could be anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying who's recruiting who, but like, Aaron Costello goes to Iowa. He's good. I mean, he's good, not great, right?
Yeah.
Cassiope decommits from Northwestern and goes there. Are you not going to take Cassiope, right? I mean, they signed Nevels. Who's to say? I mean, who knows what situation happened with Kirkfleet? But Kirkfleet comes knocking, or there's communication. What, you're not going to take Kirkfleet?
You're not going to not.
What's the degree? What's the degree to which the talent gap is too minimum to bring in more kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Haynes situation, a lot of people are talking about the Haynes situation.
Well, yeah, it's very ironic. If we can just explain that a little more. Thomas Haynes initially committed to go to Penn State. Thomas Haynes was a 4-time Pennsylvania State champion. They had that verbal commitment, and Cale chose to recruit Nick Nevels, who at the time was the #1 guy in the country, and they got Nick Nevels. So it's almost like it's ironic in a way if he goes to Penn State, because Nevels was like kind of did this to Haynes. Not that it's Nevels' fault in any way or anyone's fault. And now Seth, the younger brother, may find himself in a similar situation that Thomas Haynes did, where he's going to be potentially recruited over by Daniel Kirkfleet.
And I kind of put this in the article as an explainer, and maybe at some point, as we get a little more information, or if we're able to kind of figure out when he's taking official visits and all this stuff, because from my conversation with the family yesterday, they were very insistent that they were going to take all their official visits. They were going to be very deliberate with this process, and I mean. They called me from their vacation in Mexico, right? So,
Dang.
I felt bad taking time out of
International waters.
Yeah, their family vacation probably ran up my phone bill. But those international calls, they add up.
Hey,
I don't
buddy,
think it will
you
run
can-
up yours.
You can expense that.
Oh, well, thank you, Christian.
Yeah.
But yes, I kind of put it in the article yesterday about how it affects the heavyweight landscape. Obviously, we know, when he decommitted from Minnesota, there's Gable there. And then the day before, right, we talked about this, Colton Schultz to Arizona State. I'm sure Arizona State was interested in Kirkley, just like everyone is interested in Kirkley, right, who wouldn't want him. Nevels was number 6 on our prospect rankings, right? That's probably a good approximation of him. And then Nebraska, who was also listed, has Emerson, who Emerson came on after Eastern Michigan dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really mention Ohio State because they have Singletary, and if Kirkleight's able to get an Olympic red shirt and then still has a regular red shirt, that might not be as much of an issue.
What do you mean? You didn't mention Ohio State when?
In the article about Kirkleigh, because that's one of his 4 schools.
Yeah, it's weird that you keep hearing a lot of heavyweights.
Looking at Ohio State.
Looking at Ohio State, and Ohio State looking at a lot of heavyweights.
Yeah, I think it's early, but
I mean, I say weird because they
they have Singletary.
a guy. They have Singletary. He was 10th in his class. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're looking for insurance policy. They already signed one, Tyler Stein, but that's an interesting side note. But go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then also, look, probably unlikely, but could he still go 97? I know he is extremely
No.
tall. I know.
I'm gonna go ahead and answer that.
I know. And me and Willie made fun of CP for a
Yeah,
while about
I'm like,
this.
how can you bring this up?
Look, Brady Berge at Penn State, when he said he was going 149,
No.
hold on, listen, when he said he was going 149 when he committed, I was like, how? In what way?
Well,
and
he
we
would-
still haven't seen him make it.
He's going to.
But so that's what I'm saying. So if a coach is like, hey man, look, you're going 97, and he's fully convinced about it, and again, like I said, I made fun of you for a while for doing it, but I don't know.
He's not going 97.
I don't think he is either, but
He's a puppy still.
I know. I don't think he's going 97 either, but
Maybe 84.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Definitely not
I
97.
I
Definitely
have
not
reopened
97.
my commitment to thinking that there's a 1% chance he goes 97.
Wow.
So the Thomas Haynes thing, I know for sure. Listen, that was Thomas Haynes wanting to go there, and it was less Kale recruiting Thomas Haynes and more Thomas saying, "I'm going to Penn State. I'm committing to Penn State," than it was guys him technically recruiting over. But I said it then. I probably would have took Thomas just because of the money, the difference in money.
Okay, so that's that. And, it begs the question, what if Kirkfleet does go to Penn State, then what happens with Seth Nevels?
What happens with Nick Nevels?
Well, Nick,
I'm just saying, like, if
Nick Nevels will be gone.
okay, but he's still there this year and possibly next year if he redshirts if he gets a medical this year, if he's so hurt, and then you have a kid who's in your program who's like,
Where
you
did
screwed
you-
over my brother?
where did you hear that he's hurt or whatever?
I thought this was where all the rumors of Kassar going up stem from Neville's being hurt.
No, Kassar's just going up because Bo Nickel, I think, is going up to 97.
I'm well on the Bo Nickel up to 97 train.
What
So-
about Shakur?
84.
yeah,
84.
but okay, but still,
You
then
saw how big that kid was when we were at.
Shakur?
Yeah.
Yes. That won't be fun.
No, he's well over 200 pounds.
Yeah. he will have to lose some weight.
Man, so Berge, the first time maybe in a little while that Penn State's, because Penn State has always been like, they don't make kids cut weight, right? All those kids go up. All their kids go up. Now it's like Berge going 49, Shakur going 84 maybe.
Shakur going 84 is not, I mean,
he was 192 for NCAAs, I think he said in his interview, right?
Yeah, he'll get down there. He's just,
Yeah.
But Kassar's going up because he thinks that's his best spot in the lineup. He thinks, I mean, he's like, Bo Nickel or Nick Nevels, I will try to go after Nick Nevels and try to beat him to start.
Okay, I thought there was some injury aspect of it where Kale was like, hey, we need an insurance policy here as well.
No, I don't think so. I think that's where Kassar's just going to, I think he sees that as his path to start. So, yeah, I don't know what this means for Seth. Nick will battle it out with Kassar to start, which will be something I should have mentioned to you. I don't know if that was in your roster battle or not article.
Which one?
Nevels versus Kassar.
The lightweight.
The
battle.
lightweight roster battle article?
Oh, yeah.
Remember we
Okay.
broke it up into threes?
I forgot. Well, perfect. I'm glad we haven't run that one yet. That'll work out great. Okay. Anything else for the Nevels, Kirk Fleet?
Will we
Berge?
see if Greg does go to Penn State? Will we see Nevels leave?
That's what I was thinking about
Well,
because
what's-
AJ's a
Sophomore.
freshman or so. Yeah, sophomore at
I think
Fresno.
sophomore. It'd be a sophomore this
Well,
year.
Seth Nevels will. I mean, if Seth should choose to transfer, I mean, we are talking like 3-4 steps ahead of
Right.
things required to happen. The good thing is he can probably go anywhere he wants. He could stay in the Big Ten if he wanted because of the new transfer rules, right? So he's gonna have flexibility now. He could always go home. Now, does he want to rest? His brother's a heavyweight.
Yeah, that's
So-
what I was getting at with the AJ thing.
Yeah, he'll only be a sophomore next year too.
Yeah, so
So
he's,
you might want to go somewhere else.
you might want to go somewhere else unless you want.
And it would
beat your
seem
brother out for a
unlikely
spot.
that Kale would try to. I know it's the new rule, but
Well, he'll probably
do anything.
if he tries to go
do.
to Ohio State. I bet
Yeah, possibly.
he ain't gonna be too jazzed about that.
Yeah.
Or another power is like, why don't you go somewhere not on our level?
But yeah, so I don't think we're gonna hear too much more, at least publicly. The Kirk Fleets are a very just quiet, private family, right? And I'm sure they probably would prefer to not have to have this be talked about because they just want to get Greg into school and get him ready to win national titles and world titles, right?
Yeah.
But he's going to be taking officials here over the next little bit. He's going to be – here's what I'm interested in. He's going to be training at the OTC this year.
Right.
He's going to be doing international tournaments, or at least that seems to be the
So
plan.
no high school, correct?
More than likely, we will not see him in any high school events this year. Obviously not going to roll it out because it's still July. But college opens. Because I brought up to him with Cashman, and he definitely sounded open to doing college opens and maybe even competing more than Cashman did last year. Because Cashman was the main one that I think of, right, as far as like kind of being the first year of this program. A little different than what Kyle did, obviously. Now it's like an actual program that they're trying to build. And so could we see Kirk Fleet in college opens? I hope so. I think that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great. I hope we see it. What's so funny? Chuckles?
Of course, we probably will. Of course, we will.
Okay.
I'm just, I'm not guaranteeing anything because if his coaches and him are like, nah, I don't want to, I don't want to do this. This isn't right for my training or my schedule. Then they're not going to do it.
They're not going to do it. Not for a fire. Okay.
But I hope it happens.
For sure. Okay. We're gonna invite Mike Mal onto the show, but let's talk a little bit about Colton Schultz. So the top two, a lot of movement in the top two pound for pound, top two heavyweights, top two. They're like 1 and 2 in everything, right?
As they should be.
As they should be. So Colton Schultz commits to Arizona State over, who was it? Ohio State and I forget who else was in the mix there.
Did we get his final list? And did we put it in the
no,
article?
I was told it, but didn't. Not by him. So, anyways, he commits thoughts on the Arizona State commitment from Colton Schultz? Obviously, a huge get for Arizona State as they've been not going through a drought recruiting, but they have a lot of money tied up with the #1 class from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And that money's going to come off the books here eventually. So they can start really making some bigger splashes in recruiting. Willie, thoughts on Schultz to Arizona State, the fit there and his prospects next level?
I like it. I think it's a good fit. You know, after Tanner Hall leaves, Colton can step right in. I think it's probably a good training environment as far as I would imagine Sunkist sends him wherever he wants for training and brings in guys for Greco that he needs and lets him take time at the OTC for Greco because he has a bright Greco future. As far as how he does in college, I mean, I think he's right there with those guys. It's a great group. Gable, Kirkfleet, Paris, Cassiope, Nevels. You know, I think all of America wrestling fans go, come on, we know what the pecking order is. It's Gable, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and everybody's going to have a hard time. Nobody. Gable's a 4-time national champ, and it very well could be. But there's a lot of stuff still to happen, and whatever the final placements are between this group of guys, whatever their legacy becomes, that could very well happen. It could be Gable's story for the next 4 years, but I think that's far from determined. I think maybe we could see a scenario where these guys are all back and forth, and I think Colton Schultz is right there with everybody.
Well, what are these schools supposed to do? Just give up on heavyweight? Like, all right, it's Gable's. Like, come on. Of course they're gonna.
No. I'm not. I didn't.
No, I'm not saying you're saying that, but fans they're like, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Gable. It's like, what are you supposed to do?
No, what I'm saying is, myself included, you know, last year, 2 years ago, I'm like, man, Gable's gonna win 4 titles. Gable, who's gonna beat him? He could win a title as a freshman. You know, even I got caught up in that. But it's a long time. Things change. People get better. People get worse. People get injured. People develop. People regress.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, the interesting thing, and Gable's going to always be discussed when we talk about this heavyweight class. And right now, all we can do is look back to that match he had against Kirkfleet. It was 3-2, and now you could say a lot of things. Gable was in the kind of the midst of really his break. He wasn't at his peak form. Maybe there's an injury. Who knows? But what we do know is they are at least in a comparable tier, Kirkfleet and Gable. Now, do we believe that Kirkfleet and Schultz are on a similar tier, and maybe even Paris or Cassiope? And if those guys are all in one tier, then maybe it's maybe a little too transitive, but maybe potentially they are in the same realm as Gable, or closer than we thought, whereas we were just writing off this weight class. And I think I still am. I'm still saying, until I watch that guy lose to someone from America, I'm not going to choose it, right?
I'm not there anymore.
Wow.
I was, but like, you talking about there's a 3-1 you have a 3-1 match with a guy that's a year younger than you. I'm saying I'm not crowning Gable for the next 4 years.
Yeah. No, I think that's plenty fair. That's plenty fair. But I guess the whole point is, do we think Schultz is in the mix here? I do. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If Gable's going to be beat, it's going to be in folk style. Like, the difference is too big in freestyle. If somebody really, I mean, it's going to be hard, but if somebody really rides him and can keep it even on their feet, then you start getting in that tiebreaker situation, then things start getting goofy.
I want to meet the guy that can hold Gable Steveson.
Oh, I know. It's not going to be easy.
Point to that guy. I mean, hold that guy down. Okay.
It is not going to be easy in any way.
Yeah, for sure. I think freestyle is clearly his best style, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, he texted Tanner Hall twice this year. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
He ain't teching them in folk style, right? And techs are easier to come by in freestyle, anyways. Yeah. Okay, that's Colton Schultz. This is Mike Malanconico of Behind the Dirt fame. So Mike has been working on a big project behind the scenes here for a little bit that we wanted. It's going to debut here soon.
Yeah.
Videos are already starting to go up. And, well, Mike, why don't you talk about it a little bit, what it is and what you can expect from it.
It's not much, just my life's work. No big deal.
No biggie.
No big deal. It's quite simply a technique library that I put together. So there's a couple things, right? Like, so for me, there's always kind of been gaps in technique videos, right? Like, so Kyle Snyder can show a technique on video, but that doesn't mean that every different type of kid can do it, because not every different type of kid is built like a fire hydrant, like he is. So the longer, lankier kids might be losing out. And what this technique library hopefully does is puts together techniques for every age, body type, skill level, wrestling style. It kind of takes all those things and takes them into account with the videos. It's a daunting thing that we've started to put together, and it's daunting because it's hard to organize and hard to classify.
So what are we talking about, the organization of it, talking about the volume of it? Like what can we look for here with this?
What you want to look for, and quite literally what you should be searching for, is different types. I assembled it kind of like a book, like an encyclopedia type of thing, right? So book 1, book 2, book 3. Book 1 will be all your basic stuff. Your stance.
Your spladles.
Right. Spladles, super ducks, all that kind of stuff.
Day one stuff.
Day one stuff. It's your stance, it's your motion, but stance and motion can be very different from kid to kid to kid to kid. So I go into a square stance, a staggered stance, an American style stance, a Russian stance, an Iranian stance. There are all these different types of things. So, but you can find them because they're easily classified. Book 1, basics. Stance, Iranian stance. So the way that I classified them should make it easier for you, if you are so inclined, to find them if you're looking for a specific type of technique.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mike, I got a question. What sort of feedback are you hoping to get from this, right? Because I imagine that you're not just going to be like, all right, done. No more technique in the world.
You are mistaken. No, here the feedback is I always love the what ifs. Oh, what if we did this? That's the coolest part of technique to me, right? Because there's no new technique. This sport's been around for thousands of years. It'd be arrogant of anyone to think that they came up with anything. What I find so interesting about technique is finding different combinations. And that is one of the things that's so cool to me about this library, is that you can kind of mix and match. Oh, well, I'm a power double kind of guy. I'm not a power double kind of guy. But if I were, right, I can find different setups, like a thumb block punch, right? Or maybe just a push-pull type of thing, that I can find different ways to get into my favorite technique. And then now on the other end of it, okay, the finishes haven't really gone up yet, but now I can find different ways to finish that double, right? Because it's not always get up and run. Sometimes it's just lock your hands, back arch, and turn. So the cool part to me is finding different combinations of techniques.
So you'd be pretty stoked if a kid from wherever.
Let's call it Mississippi.
Yeah, we'll say kid from Mississippi is like, man, you know what? I was having good with my setups and I was being able to get to legs, and on some of the worst kids I was able to finish, but that third or fourth part of the equation, I couldn't find it, and I went through your technique library and I found a different way to finish, or a different way to get myself set up to finish. So you'd be really stoked if you're like, all right, this kid found the missing link in the chain to help him adapt his style to whatever he took from you.
Well, so it becomes excuse me, it becomes about bridging that gap, right? So there's always one thing that's missing from any set of techniques, and hopefully they find it there. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Well, we've got a video queued up. Our guy, Zach Purcell, he's a sick editor.
Killer.
If you've seen the Behind the Dirt intro, he did that. Did this cool little video. Little preview here that our guy Caleb's going to queue up and play here. So let's take a look real quick.
This is your day one stuff. This is your squared standard. You're going to have to work hard to get a takedown. And this is going to get progressively more difficult, right? Recognize what he's doing and react to it.
Nice.
I get so excited when I see that thing because like it's the guy is so talented.
I know. Yeah.
Like it's so cool. He's so awesome.
Yeah. I know. You end up focusing on like the quality.
Right.
It's
And
like, oh,
I'm
wait,
like-
yeah, the technique thing.
And
But-
I'm also very easy to please with that kind of stuff. Like I'm like, oh yeah, it's like a kid with a pinwheel, you know? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool.
Right? You used to just like kind of throw your stuff up. Right now, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I have an actual editor.
Well,
doing
it's
my
funny
stuff.
because we did an interview yesterday with Efren, and he stuck a camera in my face. He's like, "Well, how did Behind the Dirt start?" I'm like, "It started with an iPhone 4 propped up on a kettlebell that was sitting on a plyo box, quite literally." And now I've got like lighting and things, wires and things.
So okay, couple more things. We'll let you go.
Okay.
What's the time frame? When can we expect?
There are 25 videos populating an event page right now. There will be 75 more videos within the next 24 hours that will populate that event page. The event page is called Flow Wrestling's Technique Library, and you can search that right in the navigation bar, or you can search it on our site too, the search function there. And so like I said, there's 25 up right now. There will be another 100 in the next 24 hours, and there'll probably be another 100 by Monday, I'd say.
And then this is going to be an ever-growing thing,
Yeah.
as it said in the video. So
Yeah.
you're pot committed there. You have
Dude,
to.
I'm excited, but I am though. Like I'm super excited about it. Like I'm jazzed about finishing. Like this is kind of life's work, man. This is what I've been doing for the last 15 years, put down on
the internet.
The internet, not celluloid anymore, is it?
No. So someone asked. We always take questions. For
Questions.
Mike,
Mhm.
which wrestlers do you enjoy breaking down moves for Behind the Dirt? Is there a certain style you prefer?
Yes, the foreigners for sure, but in this country it's Yanni, and it is Yanni and guys like Michik.
Who wrestle like foreigners?
Yes. So
and you're stoked that Yanni's with Coop
yeah,
because you feel that Coop is really
no Coop. It's not a feel like, it is a
Yeah.
for certain. Like there's no, like, so people don't real like, I don't know that Coop gets kind of his due. I really don't, because as an athlete, as a wrestler, and as a coach, the dude is a game changer. And because everyone likes to think of guys like Ben Askren as being kind of the godfather of a certain style of wrestling, Coop was doing that stuff, a little bit before that. And I'm not saying he didn't have the same success, so he didn't get to wrestle on primetime on ESPN. Like he was, he never made a final, so he didn't get to see it as much. But that dude had some stuff, and still does, right? Like the dude can still go. So yeah, you put a mind like that with Yanni, yeah, good things are gonna happen.
Yeah, and we'll see with Jo too down the line.
Yeah, that adds a very different element to it too, because Jo is kind of this amalgamation of European style plus like a Coleman Scott power, hit you in the mouth, kind of double leg stuff too. So yeah, I'm excited.
Well, awesome stuff, Mike. We'll have you on again soon, talk about some
right.
other stuff.
Cool. Sir, thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
Cool. So be sure to check that out. Those will be going up soon. We'll be featuring them on site and social. So,
I found
More to
it
come.
quite easily. When Mike said, look up Flow Wrestling Technique Library, it came right up for me.
Nomad, you
So-
don't count because the other day you sent us a document from 1992 when Iowa got punished for giving out too many scholarships. You found like Big Ten meeting notes from the 90s. So you don't count.
Another very easy way to find it is click on the events tab on the homepage and then click completed, and it will be the first one that comes up.
For now.
For now.
Yes,
that'll
for now,
change.
until other events complete. But
Yeah.
that's an easy way to find it too without having to search.
So that's the Technique Library. We're really excited about it. It's going to be ever growing, and we love getting techniques from awesome wrestlers. But there's not a connective tissue among them all. And I think ideally, you've got Mike. He builds his Technique Library, and using our Technique Library that we already have from guys like David Taylor and John Smith and other greats, and using that to accentuate what he's got and to build off it. So I think the potential is huge. And one thing we know about wrestling people, the fans of wrestling are are mostly in the game. They are competing, they are coaching, they are working with kids. They have a son, they have a daughter that they're trying to help. So we think it's going to be something that people will be really excited about. So
And even if they're not, right? You're just learning, right? Oh, okay. Like the one that immediately comes to mind, Bracky was pointing out. We ran a technique. It was a Euro finish for Gilman, and Gilman used that against Dayton Fix in Final X.
yeah, pretty
Right?
cool
Like
stuff.
yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. It's 8:46. Should we go straight to the questions? Is there anything super pressing that
Tears for Fears next week.
well, I think Tears for Fears next week because
We have all summer to talk about.
we have all summer.
Yeah, I'm not fighting. I'm just asking.
133 ain't going anywhere, boys. And there's some good questions in here.
Let's do it then.
Here's the best question. Could LeBron James stop a Jordan Burroughs double? Asks Blake Olson.
Come on,
No.
maybe.
I'm
He's pretty huge. He's like 290.
Maybe not the first time, but I'm sure at some point.
Listen,
could.
he would get him off balance.
If you taught him, give him a few reps,
Yeah.
you're not. LeBron's 300 pounds.
Yeah, LeBron's
Well,
way
wait,
bigger
now,
than
hold
Jordan.
on. Okay, I guess we got to set the parameters here. I'm saying you give Jordan Burroughs right now 3 minutes live. Yeah, we're not sending LeBron to the Ohio RTC to learn from Tervel.
yeah.
Okay, it's
Okay, but it's
his
not,
current form.
It's also not fair if you just put him out on the mat and you're like, all right, go.
That's the question.
No, it's not.
No one
we don't
said-
know the we don't. I mean, we don't know the specifics.
Blake Olson, I know what you mean, Blake. Right now,
I'm sure. Yes, he could.
he could stop it.
No, he could
He's-
double leg him.
All right,
Yeah.
he would get double legged.
But if you gave LeBron like 5 minutes, I'm sure he would start stopping some of them.
He's just so much bigger than Jordan. It has nothing to do. Like Jordan is a.
Do you think Jordan
Next
Burroughs
level.
is? So you think? Wow, you think Jordan Burroughs is a better wrestler than LeBron?
I'm saying
Dude.
if Jordan Burroughs was 300 pounds, LeBron's getting his what kicked all
He
up
would
and down
double leg
Cleveland.
him.
Oh, excuse me,
Los
L.A.
Angeles?
Yeah,
He's Los Angeles. He's a Laker now. Okay, interesting.
Sunset Boulevard.
I'm Blake Olson, thank you for the question. Please refine it. Did you mean LeBron in his current state? That's how I took the question. Is he going to go to RTC practices? Just let us know. Matt Kaminer, FRL question. Do you think anytime a head coach retires from or otherwise leaves a program, the job should be opened up, even if there is an heir apparent on staff, or only open it for struggling programs, i.e. Michigan State, Indiana, and the like?
Cool. This is a saucy question.
Which those two didn't even
I don't think
open
it's
it
that
up.
saucy. It should be opened up every single time, no matter what.
Yeah. Why would you? Because you're
How do you
literally
not know who's like? You won't know who's interested if you don't. And that, even if you have an heir apparent, the person that's interested could be a better candidate.
Yeah.
The reason I say it's saucy is because if there is an heir apparent, and no matter what, everyone has like a guy in mind, right? Whether it's right away or after a process. If it's right away, then you're just like trotting people out to be like, oh well, we got to interview 3 people, whatever. Then you're just like wasting people's time.
Right.
That's why I think it's
mean,
saucy.
Let's be clear. The only places that don't open it up are loser program, like people, the ADs that don't care.
Yes. That's accurate.
How
That's accurate.
how open was Michigan's?
Oh yeah. Good question. Okay. Bormat doesn't count.
I don't consider Michigan a loser program or
they
Bourmet a loser
interview-
coach.
They did interview other people.
Okay, that's
Now,
what I'm asking.
But it was, yeah. But it's a good point. Good point by Nomad. I think it was a formality with Michigan. If Cale Sanderson called, be one thing. But, yeah, Bourmet was probably the best guy for the job, too, most qualified. And so, so I kind of I was like Bracky. And then I was like, man, I think about flow. You want to promote from within your organization. That's an important thing here.
Yeah,
It should be an important thing at a school too, right? Michigan. It's important to be a Michigan man at Michigan. That has value beyond
for sure.
that has value beyond the athletic ramifications. It's like that means a lot to alums. That means a lot to the university. That we are a school that is run by guys and gals that win here.
I don't have a good example of it for wrestling, but in college football, you see it all the time. They name an interim coach halfway through the season. When they fire the coach, they win 4 games, and they're like, yes, this is the man for the job. They hire him, and then 2 years down the line, after
Never
2
works.
losing seasons, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, let's be clear. Bourmet, everything was trending in the right direction at Michigan, right? So, Michigan man, things are trending in the right direction. So that's a little bit different than struggling program, coach retires. Who's the assistant? Yeah, just make him head coach.
Well, that's what the question was. Any time, which would be all times, and I think if it's a case by case basis. But look, if you believe in your guy. I don't know exactly what the rules are for each school and each state as far as, employments for things like that. But
What?
some states have, you have to interview people.
Yeah, it's a state university. You can't just. It's got to be open process.
Well, yeah.
So, but, then you're wasting people's time. But, ideally you would want to always look at the best pool of candidates, but it's not always realistic.
Gotcha. Okay, while we're on the coach subject, circle back to UTC. Someone named Durden, Durdon, blew me up.
He was locked in.
He's locked in. This guy is so.
I've never heard of him.
I don't know who he is, but he's Chattanooga strong. So a name I forgot Tuesday was Jordan Lean.
Yep.
Grew up there. Family still lives there. Dad was the coach there, something like that. And obviously Jordan Lean, strong coach, amazing wrestler for Cornell, very respected guy. Could totally see him getting the job. I didn't know.
Hold on, though.
Okay.
From what I don't know the details, but from what I heard somewhere, things did not end well there with Lean and UTC.
Interesting.
I heard there's bad blood. So I heard that.
Okay.
I don't know how true it is, but I heard very unlikely that Jordan Lean would go there.
Okay. Okay, here's another one. Great name. UTC names. If Kevin Ward wants the job, it's his. He's from Chattanooga, has family here, and strong ties here. I didn't know. I think I knew he was from Tennessee, but I didn't know he was from Chattanooga.
All I learned from this Durden guy is that everyone in D1 coaching is from Chattanooga. It's like 4 people he mentioned from Chattanooga.
Cody Cleveland, I knew. He was just coaching Team Tennessee in Fargo, but he just moved to Citadel. He's not gonna. I don't know. If Philly, you just change your job, you're not gonna then change your job like twice in one summer. But
Oh, Durden. I see him.
Yeah, Durden. And then UTC, Dan Dennis is interested, says Durden. So Durden has spoken on UTC. I don't know about these coaches' involvement, but those are some really interesting names, especially Kevin Ward. I think a lot of Kevin Ward.
Well, I'll tell you what. First thing that has to happen is UTC, the AD, needs to get Durden on the hiring committee, on the interview committee.
I would support that.
And then Durden needs to be our mole throughout the process.
Yes. Yeah, funneling us UTC info.
big mole guy.
Okay. We shouldn't. The thing about moles, you don't
shouldn't say who they are.
We'll edit this out.
Durden, you are not our mole.
You're not our mole.
Find another slant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Find another slant. Okay. Zach Donahue. What are the chances that Stefan Micic takes home a world medal at 57 kilograms? I think he can. But what did he get? He didn't do so hot at where was it? Europe?
No, he did very well. So
Medaled, I think.
Well, if he bought bronze there, I mean.
well, I know, but this is why you gotta dig into brackets because of repechage. He lost to Aguev, the guy from Russia, who made the finals, and then he came back and I think he beat France and Spain. So not Micic's fault, but he didn't beat anyone of note there.
Anymore, France is all Russian. So a French win now means a lot more because they are.
I know, but
they're poaching Dagestan.
Yes, but I don't think Micic is a super strong medal threat this year. I think that's a really tough weight cut for him, and I think that's kind of part of why he lost to Aguev, because he looked amazing, right? Quick, like, good shots, and but I was watching with Mike Mal and Spey, and Mike Mal was like, he's gonna be done after this. He used so much energy on that first takedown, and it was kind of spot on the rest of the match. So not necessarily a talent thing, but I think A, the weight's too tough, and B, he's just going to run into one or two too many guys that are going to be able to knock him off. But I hope Micic does well because I really like him.
Okay. I think he's got I don't know. Yeah, the weight thing has me a little concerned now that you mention it. Gotcha. All right, so that's Micic. I don't know if anyone else wants to weigh in there, but here we go. On to the next question.
We've seen weirder medalists at World Championships, right?
Okay. Well, and he's he's former world bronze.
Right. We have seen far stranger things happen, so in no way am I ruling him out.
Well, I don't think it would be that strange. I mean, you're saying that it was the reason he lost to Ugoyev was a weight cut. I mean, Ugoyev's not bad.
No,
and you're putting him right there with him.
I think he got killed though, didn't he?
No, it was 6-4. It was a very good match.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So I think he'll be fine. I don't think the weight's that great.
Right. That's the thing. Not a great weight. Is the full USA team wrestling at the Yasser Dogu tournament for qualifying points or to put the rest of the world on notice? Probably not really either. It's not. We don't say, you know what, we're going to the Dogu and we're going to show them we're here. It's a statement time. They don't do it for that.
I don't get that.
And they don't care about qualifying points either because look at our Pan Am team. They're going because at this time of year, every year, we send our team to a tournament for, kind of State of the Union, see where they're at. It's an important part of the process for preparing for Worlds is to go to an international tournament.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong. I'm pretty sure they're going there to put the world on notice. I think they're put. Actually, I know for sure. Cody Bickley from the USA Wrestling Performance Center called me yesterday, and he said they actually have flyers that they are posting the telephone poles all around. It says "Notice World."
We're here.
I think winning Worlds last year might have put the world on
I would have
notice.
said, I think that too. I think that put him on notice, but no, it's not a bad. I mean, Nick W at Nikki Pipes. That's solid. But also, if Suriano needs that Twitter handle, you may have to give it to him because your pipes are not probably comparable. No offense to Suriano.
Did you see him yesterday? Did you see Nicky Suriano doing those?
With the rubber bands.
With the bands, yeah.
Nicky's looking right.
It is unbelievable. He's gonna win. He's gonna be the guy to beat Mighty Mouse in the UFC.
Yeah.
Wow. Bold proclamation.
He's gonna smash him.
Real quick on that, like, there's not a lot left here before Worlds, guys. Looking at the schedule, so we got Dogu now. Next month, there's literally one.
Well, this is a good one.
Senior level freestyle event, and Americans can't enter it. It's the Asian Games. Okay?
You could try.
Right? We're not going to do Corkin in September, which is in Russia. So there's 3 events in September.
When's the Clippin'?
Clippin' is a women's event.
That's why it's funny. That's the joke.
Listen.
But people don't know that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the last international tournament that they can go in.
Yeah, I mean, you have Sargsyan in Poland
Okay,
the first
let's-
weekend, and then Medved second weekend. So like, they
Stop.
gotta go to
we-
Dogu, guys. They gotta go to Dogu.
Stop.
They gotta go to Dogu.
Stop reading tournaments.
I'm trying to explain to the people. These people don't know anything about international wrestling.
Okay, so
I'm
then
trying to
bring up
explain to them how it works.
Sark-
Fired at our listeners.
Wow.
I'm watching Soriano.
Wow, Soriano's ripping up his pull-ups, no problem. His lats look in mid-season form. Okay, so that's Dogu talk. That's the Dogu hour. Willie, you talked it's not really. You talked about Hodge prospects a few weeks back and said there are two clear front runners in Leah Nolf. I agree, but what are the chances of Gable getting it if he can score points in folk style like he did in freestyle against All-Americans like Tanner Hall?
They ain't gonna give it to a freshman.
Yeah, no way.
0% chance they give it to a freshman.
Well,
Even
if
if he's
he-
the only
Well, the
undefeated guy,
question-
he's gonna be 0% chance.
No, that's crazy. That's not true.
They ain't giving it to Gable. They not gonna give it to
the
Gable.
question
If he was
is a little-
undefeated and everyone else
They
took a
ain't
loss,
gonna give it to Gable.
why are you saying it like
Because
that?
they didn't freaking give him the all the other awards that
Okay, this
the
is
high school awards that
So because
because of non-wrestling stuff.
So because David Carr won
are you talking
the
about?
Schultz Jr. Award, that means
Bro-
Gable won't win the
yeah, because it's the
Hodge if
same
you
type
win
of people voting.
It's
No,
not.
it's not.
It's not. That's not true.
They ain't
Willie,
gonna
do
give
you
it-
have a Schultz vote?
They ain't gonna give it to Gable. They're not gonna give it to Gable.
All right, just stop saying the same thing 1,000 times.
Why do you think they would give it to him?
If he was the only undefeated wrestler and everyone else took a loss, which is not probably going to happen, he would get it. He would win it.
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
No, man, what are you talking about?
I just don't think. I don't think they're going to give it
If
to a
Gable was the
freshman
only one
or a
if
true
Gable was
freshman.
the only one undefeated, he would win the Hodge.
No,
Oh my gosh. All right.
they're not going to give it to a freshman, a true
It'd
freshman.
be even
and-
more
and-
impressive as a true freshman.
I understand that
Why are they not going to give it to a true freshman?
because they have shown time after time after time that it's a career achievement award, and that
No, they haven't. Maybe once, maybe twice. I mean, Kale got it.
not as a freshman.
Yes, he did.
Nope.
I believe
He
he,
didn't?
did.
Nope.
Pretty sure he did.
Nope.
And then he didn't as a
It
sophomore.
was like his sophomore year. He didn't win.
Nope.
All right, go ahead and look it up, Mr. Nope.
He
Okay,
won in his last
anyhow,
3 years.
Anyhow, the question's worded a little weird. It's
You
like
might be right.
if he puts up the point, if
Oh,
Gable
right.
puts up the points like he did in freestyle. Oh, if Gable texts everybody, do you think he'll win? Yes,
Sophomore,
he
junior,
would win.
senior.
But I don't see a scenario in which Lee or Nolf doesn't have more bonus than Gable.
Yeah. And he's not going to win it because he's not going to have the resume. But I push back that he wouldn't win it otherwise.
Kale won in 2000, 2001, 2002. He did not win as a freshman.
He did his
Okay.
freshman year second. He was a sophomore his first year, though, Nomad. Everyone forgets that.
I forgot
All right,
that.
but you also don't know when's the last time a freshman Nomad had the highest bonus rate and didn't win.
A freshman has never had the highest bonus rate
So then why would he win the freaking thing?
because we're not talking about bonus rate. We're talking about him going undefeated. And I think we can all agree he's not going to have the highest bonus rate no matter what.
He might not have the highest bonus rate, but he's gonna have a pretty high bonus rate.
He's going to have a very good bonus rate, but
and if he's undefeated and couple that with being a true freshman, I think he's got a very good shot at winning it.
I don't think they.
Especially if other people have losses.
I don't think they're going to want to give it to him.
you
I'd vote
really-
for him. I'd vote for him. This is not a comment on what I think should happen. It's what I think will happen.
Are you upset about the Junior Schultz award?
I thought I was the most upset about
I'm
that.
upset
You're
with
so-
the Hodge voters that
That
Whatever.
what? No, you're upset with the Schultz award. You're taking it
they're
out
not
on-
going to give it to him. That's all I'm saying, guys.
When's the last?
What data gives you that? How many times did the Hodge mess up? I'm probably like, I have a bone to pick with about 3 of them in the history of the award.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's always close, right? Like I've disagreed many times with the Ringer over Zane thing. That was one example where it didn't necessarily follow the criteria, but it was pretty freaking close. You could say Ness in 2010 over Varner was not the Lifetime Achievement Award because that would have certainly gone to Jake Varner over Jason Ness, right?
That was a
That was a very contentious decision.
in
That
some
was a
way that
very
was a lifetime
contentious, but-
achievement because it was like, okay, you finally got one. Here's your award. But
Oh,
Well, you can't say Lifetime Achievement when
okay, but there's
one guy
still,
achieved
because
far
lifetime
more.
achievement can be many different things. Lifetime achievement can be you started from here and you came here. Lifetime achievement can be you've always been the man. Lifetime achievement can be
no.
yes. What do you mean no? What do you mean no, Willie?
You can-
lifetime achievement can be you came from crap and became awesome, or it can be you were always the man. There are two different kinds of lifetime achievement.
Well, which
awards.
was Ness? Because he was a 4-time All-American, 2-time finalist.
Not from crap, but like, okay, couldn't get it. He got it in a super dramatic, crazy way, right? Like there's a level of earning to lifetime achievement that isn't just okay. This guy has always been.
So what if Varner would have got it? Then it would have just been a lifetime achievement that way.
They could both be lifetime achievement. There are two kinds of lifetime achievements.
Everyone knows this, Willie. So,
What is so hard to understand about like?
What's hard to understand is that if they would have
You
given
get
it to Varner,
close, you get close, you get close, and then
if
you finally
they give
win.
it to Varner, you would be complaining about that too.
No, I'm not complaining about this. What I'm saying is they're not going to give it to. I don't think wrestling
And
people
what I'm
want
saying is
Gable
you
to
have
succeed.
No proof. You have no proof. You're
Of course,
talking
I don't
out
have
your
proof
ass,
because we've
really.
never had a guy like Gable before that's going to be in this situation.
all right, let's keep it moving.
There's
I don't-
no.
I don't think
no
they want to give
precedent
Gable
for what
awards,
you're
Will.
saying.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think wrestling people want to give Gable awards if they don't have to, which is not fair.
What?
Let's go. Keep moving.
I'm trying.
So I'll tell you what. Wrestling people, they're biased against Gable Stevenson.
Yes.
Wholesale bias against Gable.
Yep. Keep going.
All right.
Damn Schultz voters.
Here's a question that is geared towards making us say Penn State. What the heck? I'm going to fall for it. Sam Herring, whose Twitter avatar is him with the Nittany Lion on campus. What college takes the highly ranked incoming freshmen and transform them into NCAA stars right away most often? And why them? Well, Sam, since you asked this brain buster, it would be Penn State. And why? They have the best wrestlers in the room and the best coaches. And when you combine those factors, it yields really good wrestlers.
Sam Herring. Hey, Christian, you can talk about how awesome Penn State is?
Sure. I guess we owe him that.
Can we do the villain one?
Oh, yes. This is the best one. I've been looking for it. Read it, please, Bracky.
Any potential villains for this upcoming NCAA season like Gilman a few years ago? This is from O'Righton 33.
We really could have used another year of Richie Lewis.
I guess it's O'Righton 33.
Yeah.
I think Gable.
Yeah, who are the
Getting
villains?
back to what I was just saying, Gable's going to be a villain.
That's a good
There's
one.
one
Gable's
clear,
100% going to be a
There's
villain.
one clear answer.
What?
Austin DeSanto.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
DeSanto.
Just putting on the Iowa singlet like
That
multiplies his villainous by like 50.
this is a great question though. Let's talk
Great
about
job.
all the
Great job,
villains.
Instagram. This is
Hey,
your
can
fault.
Well, wait, why is
It's
Gable
actually
a villain?
DeSanto's fault for
trying to snap
Yeah,
Stevan
that's true.
Michis' elbow and yelling at his coaches and trying to hurt Chaz Tucker.
yeah.
I think it's
All of those things contributed. Yes.
I don't think it's Instagram.
Instagram didn't help.
Yeah, Instagram didn't.
Why is Gable a villain?
Well, no, I will say Gable doesn't mind.
Wearing the black hat.
Dude, he mean mugs. He'll gesture. He'll give a little something extra. I'm not mad at it, but he does do that. He has a track record of doing that.
I don't think he's a villain in the sense of like, just like I don't think Gilman was a villain in the sense of like they're a bad person, but they like the attention. They like people betting against them. They like people rooting against them. They thrive
Tony
on
Ramos
it.
was the same way.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tony
yeah.
Ramos, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's Yanni, guys.
yeah, definitely Yanni. Everyone hates Yanni.
He's the most likable person in the world.
He might be the nicest guy going right now.
I'm looking through
Which
the
would make
rankings.
the heel turn all the better.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Yanni just came out and just like was just
Went
like a big
heel?
punk? Yeah, if he went heel,
Just like shove somebody
that would
right
have
away
been the
first
most.
match.
That would be the most 180
Ever.
of all time.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
I don't
That
know.
would
I'm
be
trying
some
to.
Vince McMahon.
I'm trying to find one.
No, I think you're spot on. It's DeSanto. It's Gable.
Where do we stand on Sirianno
I was
as
gonna
a villain in the wider spectrum? Obviously, the Jersey folks love him. Does he fall into like the Kobe realm where?
Oh, we got Kobe.
Well, okay, because think about this. Kobe there's this, not even just Laker fans, just like Kobe fans that just like love Kobe and stand for Kobe. But then like the greater NBA basketball fan populace was like, dude, what Kobe's a punk. What are you talking about? He's a ball hog.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I could see that. I can see him entering that zone, the Kobe zone, as we've called it for years.
I don't agree with this one, but just from reaction on social media from stuff we've posted, a lot of people don't like Mark Hall.
Yeah, which is crazy to me.
Which it's
Really?
Yes, he is.
Like when he did this,
yeah, for some reason that was like.
Oh dear God.
which was like one of the coolest.
That was one of the.
That was
coolest
like
things.
all time cool.
It was
yeah,
so cool. It was so cool and just like swagged out, but people lost their minds. And then maybe it was when he did the hammer against
That
Iowa.
was cool. Those are like the two coolest
I
things
know.
you could have done after winning a match.
Hey, I know, and I don't agree
But
with it
you-
because I
you
think
see
it's
all our
awesome.
mentions.
Right, I see all the mentions, everything. A lot of people are not fans of it. But then again, we know Mark, and he's an awesome kid, and he's not.
He's all class.
Yes,
His
he's
celebrations
having
are so
fun out there. It's fun, like
his celebrations are so like,
Yeah.
I don't know if basic's the right word, but they're just like simple, like cool. I won. Like there's no like, I don't know, gesticulating towards the guy or anything. Like what? That's dumb. I mean, I believe you,
No, I mean,
KB. That's just
the
crazy
people
to
that-
me.
The people that are complaining about that, they're just get off my lawn, folks. I
Nickel
mean,
gets it. Nickel gets it a little too, doesn't he?
yes, especially
yeah, if you get
after
Hall.
that's
Hall
what we
also
do.
did the. Hall also ran off the mat like Saquon Barkley.
Oh, that was really cool too, because
Yeah.
that was like,
He's like 3 for 3.
because that was there in the middle. That was the first duel of the year, so it's kind of towards the end of football season. So
But
it's,
you're right. If you're saying villain, I mean, people will hate on him. People will hate on Bo. You know who else I think might start developing a like. Not that he really deserves it, but he's a little bit emotional. Not emotional, but demonstrative. Is Jaden Ironman. He does some once in a while. He celebrates.
oh,
and stuff.
another
Yeah,
Iowa one.
I could see that.
I think it really started at NCAA's is if Sam Stoll gets back on the mat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he threw his ankle bands at Jacob Casper.
He like pushed Desi earlier in the tournament too, that everyone started booing him. It was, I don't know, it was kind of he was just mad he lost and then showed it on the mat and people didn't like
Hold on, getting back to Hall and Nickel for a second. How much of that is now I'm gonna use another sport again, the Kobe zone. How much
This
of
is
that
the
is
Ovechkin factor.
No, this is the Yankees factor because I said the night they went 5 for 5, they officially became the Yankees, where college wrestling was like, nope, you either love them or you hate them. There's no in between anymore.
It does not. If they wrestled for Lockhaven, you're right. It probably wouldn't be that. But it has to do with the singlet that they have on, and people still want wrestlers to be robots and not do anything. Want them to walk back to the middle, shake their hand, and get their hand raised.
I think the Yankee clause is a factor in it, in that. But take for example, Derek Jeter was like, no one really ever hated Derek Jeter. I thought he was kind of overrated, but not to get into that. But like, no one was like, I don't like this guy, right? But I think, and that was maybe Zayn, right? No, everyone's who doesn't like Zayn? He's just a super nice guy. Never does anything after he wins, really, or loses. Not that he did that for like 5 years. So I think they may fall in that range, but I think it's just accelerates it a little bit with Hall and Nickel that they're on that team, just like it was Metcalf with Iowa.
Yeah.
And anytime you're the best team, it gets accelerated in that way.
At least with Metcalf, like you could reference the Caldwell shove.
But they hated him before.
I know. I'm just like, there was an instance where like he did something that was probably he shouldn't have done, and he knows that. and-
Metcalf did a lot of stuff.
But that was on a big stage. Like that was the biggest stage. That was my desktop background for years.
Yeah, I know, but that
Sure.
wasn't
Metcalf
did
hater?
No, I thought it was great.
No, you didn't.
that exacerbated. It doesn't matter that it was on a big stage. I mean, who cares? that exacerbated the narrative of Metcalf.
Yes.
That, I mean, Metcalf was always edge of the mat push, head down, shove your face mush, and I loved it. I mean,
Remember when he beat
stop the-
Schlater at Big Ten?
Oh,
He
yeah.
had flexing.
Yeah. So then he does what he did to Caldwell, which honestly I didn't have a real big problem
I
with.
didn't
it.
either. Everyone
I didn't have a big problem with it. I mean, stop running around the mat like a goof. I didn't have a problem with it, but that's why nobody gave Metcalf the benefit of the doubt, because for years he's been face mushing and mugging people, right? So that was
Shoving
not the
people out of
moment.
bounds.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're there. That was a great villain question. I really liked it. One other question, and then maybe it's go time. It is 9:15 here in Austin, Texas. Someone said, thoughts on the interview with Bubba Jenkins where he calls out Cale Sanderson and Frank Molinaro. And so I saw this, and I was like, okay. I was like, this happened. I was like, this is literally 7 years old. I was like, so I said, we're talking 2011. It was a couple days ago.
Yeah, I don't know how you missed this.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a Bubba Jenkins news alert Google set up, so I
guess
didn't
we
see
were
it.
talking about an off yesterday. You
And
went
I
in.
and I
Yeah.
don't go to Intermat much, so why would I say it? But he calls out. I think it's time Bubba lets this go with Cale and Frank Molinaro. He's talking about, the guys he would want to fight. He wants to fight Cale, and he wants to fight Bubba G. He's like, it might be hard because he's really good at wrestling, but I would like to show him what MMA is all about. And then he's like, but I've let that go. Clearly, you've let that go since you're talking about him right now in 2018.
He said it. Yeah, it would probably be Frank, since I don't hold a grudge over Cale anymore. I don't have a grudge to Cale anymore.
You just said 1 second ago you want to fight him. Like you 100% hold a grudge. I'm surprised that he still feels that way. I think it's time you let it go. I mean, listen, I don't know the details, how it went down with Bubba and Cale or whatever, but I don't think he was vastly that mistreated. I don't know what to think of it, but it's probably time to move on, Bubba.
I don't know. I don't know either. But that was my reaction. Is like, damn, Bubba, you still talking about this?
We move on. They've won like 9 titles since then, man. It's like, and I don't think Bubba's career has probably gone the way he thought it would in MMA. So maybe it's a little bit of just trying to stay in the news, but I think the best thing for him is to kind of move on about it. It's over. You won NCAAs. You pinned David Taylor. You had that moment. I think it's time. Maybe we need to broker a sit down between the two. Not that we could ever do that, but
Break bread.
break bread. Bring them together. Someone should mend
So
those
Frank
fences.
and Bubba, or Cale and Bubba?
All of those,
Everybody.
all those 3, family style dinner. Adam at Olive Garden.
David Taylor should come too.
David, yeah. David as well. Okay. Anything else before we depart?
We are 18 over.
18 over, I don't want to say. Caleb, feel free to play us out. We're ready to go. There, I hear the song. We're not gonna say who was 18 over. But probably there's someone. Like Willie before District 11 championships the night before.
Yeah.
Guys, recruiting season is coming hot and heavy. Me and Willie and probably Holmes and probably all of us, honestly, are going to continue to get up stories, and we have NCAA content coming hot down the barrel soon.
Yeah.
What's everybody doing this weekend? Gnomesy? You going down on 6th
I got my parents coming in soon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are y'all gonna play gun tag?
Yes. A lot of gun tag.
Your dad has to come on this show and answer for your stories.
Yes.
Okay.
That's great. And
You
better
don't
be-
want him. You don't want him on this show, though.
Remember when you said your dad been wearing fanny packs first? That
Oh
was,
yeah, very accurate.
That was a great take as well.
Christian, what are you doing this weekend?
I actually don't know. I don't know.
Kyle, any plans?
None yet. You coming in?
Yeah. Just come.
No.
We can
I might go down. Don Bashada, our buddy in Jersey, I might go down there, but not sure.
You
so
should.
nothing really, other than that.
Go fishing in the dark. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We will be back next Tuesday, come heck or high water. Thank you to ASICS for your support of Flow Wrestling Radio Live. See you next time.